And several questions abound with regard to why are we starting to do nuclear generation when some countries are decommissioning, maybe because of isolated incidences. I must say that nuclear energy is very widely used, and as I read the speech, I did say that most of the developed nations in the world are actually using nuclear energy as a source. Because when we exhaust utilization of all the conventional sources, we really have no other option but to go nuclear. And because nuclear electricity generation is not just an ordinary generation of conventional plants like thermal, hydro, geothermal, there are very critical safety and healthy regulations that must be followed. The commencement date of nuclear generation will be based on compliance to all the requirements of the nuclear electricity. It is not a generation that you can just set up without having gone through various certifications. We target that maybe in the next 8 to 10 years we should possibly be talking of starting a power plant, a nuclear power plant. But as I have said, it is dependent on the time that we are able to achieve compliance to all the requirements, international and national. Now, more importantly, and what informs this important undertaking of preparing for nuclear electricity generation is for countries with a similar size of Kenya. You would say perhaps the optimal level of energy requirement, going by the population and the size of our country, is about 45 to 50,000 megawatts.
A diversified portfolio of energy sources can contribute to energy security. So many countries, when looking at the nuclear option, are saying it's not a choice of nuclear or nothing. It's a choice of nuclear and renewable energy sources, nuclear and continued use of fossil fuels for some time until they can be reduced. So nuclear does have a role to play as part of a robust energy portfolio in many countries across Africa and in other regions as well. Let me be clear, the IAEA is not in a position to authorize or to regulate or to somehow certify nuclear power in one of our member states. We advise, we provide international guidance and best practices, but it's up to the national authorities to take decisions, and it's up to the national regulator to oversee and provide regulatory oversight to the nuclear power program. The IAEA guidance has 3 phases, 3 milestones. The first one is about national decision making, and that's the mission that we are conducting now. When that milestone is reached, the next phase is about building the institutions and capacity to be ready for the bidding process and to sign a contract. Then the third phase is about constructing the reactor and preparing for commissioning and operation. And at that point, a country becomes a country with an operating nuclear power plant, and there are currently 30 countries that operate nuclear power around the world.